know that most of what you've seen, read, or heard about Billy the Kid is untrue? My name is Gail Cooper. I'm a medical doctor and forensic psychiatrist. My specialty is murder case consultation for the defense. For 20 years, I've used my expertise to uncover the real Billy the Kid. Researching over 40,000 pages of archival documents and books, I've written the revisionist history. It's shocking, it's liberating, and I've written books demolishing the hoaxes, hijacking the history. My talks will share with you what I've found. Cover-ups, misinformation, and fakery, to use Old West lingo, will bite the dust. This talk reveals fakery in the Epilogue chapter of the Brushy Bill Hoax's 1955 book, alias Billy the Kid. The information is from my book, Cracking the Billy the Kid Imposter Hoax of Brushy Bill Roberts. The epilogue is the last chapter in the Brushy Bill Roberts 1955 hoax book, alias Billy the Kid. It culminated the faked evidence and fake conspiracy theories backing Brushy Bill as Billy the Kid by author, English teacher C.L. Sonishin, and co-author and hoax mastermind, salesman WilliamVMorrison. First, Sonishin sought sympathy for Brushy. He made up that he'd been brave to admit being Billy the Kid because that risked hanging for Sheriff Brady's killing. So it was touching that he wanted to die a free man. In reality, Brushy wasn't Billy Bonney, so he deserved compassion only for his mental illness with identity delusions. More to the point, if Brushy had been Billy, his New Mexico Territory statute of limitations for that 1878 Brady killing would have run out in 10 years, in 1888. That would have made unnecessary his gubernatorial pardon request in 1950 as Billy the Kid. Abandoning soap opera, Sonishin launched yet another conspiracy theory, admitting that Brushy's survival claim required a hard-to-swallow cover-up conspiracy by Pat Garrett, John W. Poe, and Fort Sumner residents from July 14, 1881 to the present. Sonishin backed it. Faking evidence, he lifted a quote from John W. Poe's 1933 book, The Death of Billy the Kid. Poe wrote, "If the object of my visit had been known, I should have stood no chance for my life, whatever." In reality, Sonishin hid the rest of Poe's quote that confirmed dead Billy's identifications. Poe stated that townspeople took Billy's body to the carpenter's shop for a nighttime vigil. Poe wrote, "Within a short time after the shooting, quite a number of the native people had gathered around, some of them bewailing the death of their friend, while several women pleaded for permission to take charge of the body, which we allowed them to do. They carried it across the yard to the carpenter's shop, where it was laid out on a workbench, the women placing lighted candles around it, according to their ideas of properly conducting a wake for the dead." So, Sonishin had faked evidence for his conspiracy of Garrett, Poe, and townspeople hiding Billy's survival. Next, Sonishin made up a conspiracy to explain how Brushy had survived the shooting as Billy. He wrote that it was unlikely that Pat Garrett was, quote, Fooled by the resemblance between Billy, meaning Brushy, and his partner, meaning fictional Billy Barlow, because he knew Billy too well and the reward was too small. So, Sonneshin blamed the Santa Fe ring. Why? He wrote, Billy was the hottest political potato in New Mexico, which made some people want him alive, some want him dead, and some want him to go away. So what? Sonneshin ventured. Perhaps Garrett, in imminent danger of mob violence, went along with the fiction which allowed Billy to get away and start a new life. Then politicians made Garrett stick to his story because they were glad to be rid of the inconvenient outlaw. In reality, proved only is that Sonneshin had gotten too big for his britches. To show off his conspiracy theory, he'd bashed his man Brushy's core fable, that Billy Barlow's killing was by mistaken identity, what the book was about. Also, Sonneshin's double talk is nonsense. He had again used Poe's 1933 The Death of Billy the Kid, but Poe had actually written, We spent the rest of the night on the Maxwell premises, keeping constantly on guard, as we were expecting to be attacked by friends of the dead man. Sonneshin was hiding that the feared mob violence was because Billy had been killed by Garrett and his deputies, and his name-dropping the ring didn't help Sonneshin's fiction. Since Sonneshin didn't know that Billy was an anti-ring regulator, he didn't know that the ring wanted him dead. Garrett would have been in imminent danger from them if he'd enabled Billy's survival, and the ring's vindictive violence was inescapable. Sonneshin concluded the epilogue with the hoax's special knowledge scam. He wrote, The original fact remains unaltered. Brushy Bill knew too much to have been an outsider. He must have been there in the flesh when these things happened. Sonneshin finished with a quote plastered on the book's cover by his duped University of New Mexico Press publisher Edward Beverly E.B. Mann. It stated, If Brushy Bill Roberts wasn't Billy the Kid, then who was he? In reality, the answer, proved by this book of unremitting lies, was simply not Billy the Kid. The talk to follow debunks alias Billy the Kid's appendix.